This week, we traveled to the McCain Institute's Sedona Forum, an annual event where world leaders gather to talk about solutions to real-world problems.
This event and this location is incredibly special to my family, not just because of the beauty that you've now seen, but because it represents.
This event brings people with diverse backgrounds and perspectives together around common values.
Held here in this beautiful backdrop, this place that meant so much to Senator John McCain.
Everyone in this room believes that our engagement, our leadership matters, makes a difference.
We are the world leader, and the world is begging for us to be the world leader. The world needs a strong America.
Why don't we find a way to get carbon out of the atmosphere and turn it into something useful?
I decided to actually embark on a journey to try to get 1 billion people more connected on this earth.
You said that American voters no longer wanted their politicians to compromise or to find solutions.
Both of the mainstream political parties in our country today have become less tolerant of difference of opinion within their own tent.
You have to compromise to get something into law.
There is an isolationist, nationalist movement, not just within America, but around the world that we are all combating.
The relationship with China, as I said, for us is arguably the most consequential, maybe the most complex.
So that's the biggest piece to me, dealing with the weaponization of markets and the predatory nature of the Chinese state capitalist system.
I think that buyer's remorse is starting to take hold in the region, with shoddy projects, cost overruns.
Layering on top of this, you see this really intensive anti-American messaging.
Dictators always lie about what they have done, but very often they tell us exactly what they're going to do.
Until the day my dad was killed, he stood by his convictions. He kept going because he understood the importance of his fight. The fight for democracy, transparency, truth, and justice.
This is the goal of Russia, to totally destroy our energy system, to totally destroy our economy, and deprive us of resources necessary for successful war effort.
I wanted to bring up the cases of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, the two Americans that the U.S. government has said is wrongfully detained in Russia.
We are confident that one day Evan and Paul will come back. The one thing I just can't answer right now is when.
The biggest poison that we have to fight constantly, and that is dehumanization, the inability to see the humanity in the other.
And we should be working with the technology platforms to work with us. So I'm anxious to have this discussion and see how we can go and see how we can fix some of the problems we have.
I believe in free markets, but you can't have a free market if one person is not playing by the rules of free markets. So how do we deal with this?
Fidelity to the rules and laws and norms and institutions of our democracy, that really, really matters. And you don't get an exemption just because you have an R or a D next to your name.
How can this group, this esteemed group, help in this work?
I think that for us really today, we need your voice.
We argue and compete and sometimes even vilify each other in raucous public debates. But we have always had so much more in common with each other than in disagreement.